Hello all you wonderful, beautiful people. Thanks for clicking on my channel. So what are we talking about today? Well, today I'm going to go through my top 20 favorite Rush songs. And this list was pretty difficult because Rush has so many different eras and I love them all. And they have a lot of kind of like underrated hidden gems of songs. So there's a few big heavy hitter songs that are not on this list, but it's just my opinion. So if you feel like I missed out on anything, make sure you leave your own list down in the bottom. And without any further ado, here we go. Coming in at number 20 for me is Vital Signs from Moving Pictures. This was the first time Rush really mixed reggae with prog rock, and I think it really pays off. The song has a wonderful fade-in intro. Geddy Lee's bass is so grooving, nice and groovy and thick. Alex Lifeson's guitar riff is a bit off-kilter and causes it to really pay off big time when it goes into the more straightforward rock riff. The da 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 da. When they switch from that kind of funky feel to a more straightforward 4/4 feel, it really brings something special to the song. And like you'll hear me say with a lot of these songs, this was mixed by Terry Brown and it sounds absolutely phenomenal. This was just their first time going into a more reggae, new wave influence sound, and it really pays off. Coming in at 19 is Nobody's Hero from Counterparts. I really love that this is a down-tuned song. Being that this album came out in the mid-90s, I feel like Rush were listening to bands like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and Nirvana and kind of going, oh, let's kind of incorporate some of that into our sound. Usually a down-tuned song would be a heavy, distorted affair, but this isn't. It's down-tuned, but it still starts off with a really nice, jangling, acoustic intro. By the end, it's pretty epic with slight distortion on the guitar. Another thing I love about this song is Neil Peart's lyrics, which deal with heroism and what it means to be a hero and how lots of times people who are doing heroic acts are not really lauded for them. They're sort of just underappreciated. So all of those elements really combine to make a really heavy, emotionally impactful song, and that's why Nobody's Hero is number 19 for me. Coming in at 18 is Time Stands Still from Hold Your Fire. Talk about another really emotionally impactful song. The lyrics of the song inspire me to be a better person, so it has to be on the list. And I know that sounds cheesy, but if you've heard the song, you probably agree with me. This comes from the era of Rush where they were kind of derided by some of their old school fans as being more synth pop, but this is still a really good driving rock song, I think. Guitar parts are interesting. The guest vocalist, Amy Mann, really shines during the chorus. It's in E major, so it has a happy driving feel, but also it's not too cheesy. And yeah, the song just comes together. The lyrics, the vibe, the groove, the excitement, the adding of a female vocalist, the synths. It's just a really, really perfect song, I think. Coming in at number 17 is The Enemy Within from Grace Under Pressure. I mentioned how with Vital Signs, that was Rush's first time kind of going in a more reggae, new wave influence direction. With The Enemy Within, they really kind of drive home that point and they go all out with the reggae and new wave influences, but they kind of speed it up a bit. Geddy Lee's bass line in the song is so funky and so driving. During the second verse, they have this one moment where the drums and the bass kind of stop for a second and really accent the vocal line, and it is just incredible. Once again, like with most of these songs, Neil Peart's lyrics are pretty insightful. This song just reeks of fun, though, to me. Like, every time I hear it, I just get into a happy mood. Kind of like, oh yeah, I want to, like, do stuff, if that makes any sense. But, yeah, that's 17. Coming in at 16, we have The Trees from Hemispheres. A short but insanely proggy song. I love everything about this song. I love the allegorical lyrics. The bridge of this song is something that is absolutely ludicrous when you try to break it down. If I remember correctly, Alex Lifeson is playing in 3/4, but Geddy and Neil are playing in 5, I think. It's been a while since I've listened to it and actually try to break it down. But in either way, it may sound simple, but as a musician, when you try to go in there and recreate it, it's absolutely bonkers. Look, if a song is good enough to be in an episode of King the Hill, it's definitely going to be good enough to be on this list. Number 15 is Jacob's Ladder from Permanent Waves. This guitar intro is some of Alex Lifeson's best playing. The lead riff that he does dun 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 down dun dun down dun 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 is so heavy. The song just builds with a lot of like moody atmosphere. It's ominous, and then by the time it gets to the end and it's relaxing, you're kind of relieved because that intro is just so intense and epic. And like I said, some of Alex Lifeson's best guitar playing. His vibrato is insane in this song. And Alex Lifeson is an all-around amazing player in general, so the fact that his guitar playing on this song in particular stands out is a really good reason to have it in the top 20. Coming in at 14 is Something for Nothing from 2112. This whole album in general was the first album that really made me realize how incredible Rush can be, and Something for Nothing is a great motivational song, great way to end the album. I love the way that it switches from clean guitar to distorted on a dime, and it doesn't miss a beat. And talking from like a more personal experience with me in this song, I remember just waking up early to go to school, getting in my car, driving down while it was still dark out, and listening to Something for Nothing, and just kind of giving me the motivation like, hey, today's gonna be a good day. So, made the top 20 for that. Coming in at 13 is Different Strings from Permanent Waves. This song is just an amazing highlight of Alex Lifeson's acoustic playing, his sort of more fingerstyle classical technique. The way that Neil Peart incorporates like glockenspiel and various other percussive instruments in this is absolutely amazing. And the real reason that it gets in here is just because it's so chill. It's such a chill, beautiful song. It still manages to build and add layers and layers of instrumentation as the song goes on. This song just got in this list for how absolutely beautiful and just chill it is to listen to. Every time I hear it, I just feel at peace. It's incredible. Coming in at number 12 is Red Barchetta from Moving Pictures. The beginning of this song with Alex Lifeson's harmonics and Geddy Lee's insanely tasty bass fills is enough to get it on the list, but when it really gets going, it's just so much fun. It has such a driving riff. The solo's amazing. Down, 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 down. The way they're able to take the harmonic sequence that Alex Lifeson laid out in the beginning of this song and then turn that into a main riff seamlessly is something that boggles my mind as a songwriter, for how you can take something that's essentially the same but make it sound so different. Coming in at number 11 is Witch Hunt, also from Moving Pictures, and definitely not a fun song, especially when compared to Red Barchetta, but this song contains, without a doubt, some of Neil Peart's best lyrics. This entire song does a really good job of painting a picture with the long intro, the chants, the people shouting, the ominous guitar riffs, the ominous bells coming in. You have a sense of fear, like, oh man, a witch hunt. But with Neil Peart's lyrics, he also goes into detail to have empathy for the people who are the perpetrators of this witch hunt. You know, he understands why they are the way they are without condoning what they do. A great line. Quick to judge, quick to anger, slow to understand. And if there's a song that can be moody, scary, intimidating, but also make you feel more empathetic towards people you might not like very much, I think it's a good song to be on this list. Okay, so now we're in the top 10, we're getting to the real heavy hitters, and coming in at number 10 for me is Red Sector A from Grace Under Pressure. If you want to talk about heartbreaking lyrics, this song has them. For those of you who don't know, Geddy Lee's parents were both Holocaust survivors, and when Geddy Lee's mother was rescued, she later told her son that she didn't realize that the world outside had kept going on because she couldn't understand why the world would let something like that happen. And when Geddy Lee told that to Neil Peart, he ended up writing the lyrics to this song. In particular, the line, "I clutch the wire fence until my fingers bleed," always hits me. Geddy Lee's an incredible singer in general, but for this song in particular, he really, really sings with a lot of emotion. Probably because it's such a personal story to him. Alex Lifeson's guitar riff, the dun 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 dun, is really catchy. The song has a moody atmosphere and almost like a march, but it's still melancholy. So it's not a bold or triumphant march, it's more of like a march to your death. It's just absolutely gut-wrenching, and I'm really glad that they were able to take something so horrible and turn it into something this beautiful. Coming in at number 9 is Anthem from Fly By Night. Funny story about this song. So A few months ago, I was on a road trip with one of my friends, and I was like, hey, let's listen to some Rush. Early 70s, it's grungy, it's not as well refined, but we're going to listen to it. We're going to listen to Fly By Night. And just so you know, this isn't their best album, but there is 1 or 2 songs on this album that are like top tier for Rush. We put it on, Anthem starts, and my friend instantly looks over at me and goes, oh, so this is one of their best songs. I'm like, yeah, how could you tell? This song just announces itself right out the gate. It's heavy, it's aggressive, it's fast, the bass is really thick, the drums are insane. It's Neil Peart's first song that you would have heard with him in Rush. He really made his presence known, not just with the drumming, but with the lyrics too. And if you haven't seen the video here on YouTube of Danny Carey, Claudio Sanchez, and a few others doing a cover of it, you should go check it out because that is an absolutely amazing video. Look, if it's good enough for the drummer from Tool to do a cover of, then it's good enough to be in the top 20. Number 8 is Distant Early Warning, also from Grace Under Pressure. This song just has an energy to it and a really distinct rhythm part that is both a bit complex and really catchy. Dun 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 dun. And like a lot of Rush songs from this era, it does a really good job of mixing Alex Lifeson's guitar part with the synths in it. The fact that this song begins a little off-kilter, a little bit syncopated, makes the moments when they go into just a more straightforward 4/4 feel that much more impactful. Coming in at number 7 is Xanadu from Farewell to Kings. And honestly, I'm kind of intimidated. I don't know what to say about this song that hasn't already been said. I think that this is definitely Rush's most ambitious song. I mean, it has like a 5-minute instrumental section before it goes into like the main hook, the main riff of the song. And in those 5 minutes, I'm never bored. The different percussions, the different soundscapes that they're able to use, they're all really satisfying. And then when you do get into the main riff of the song, it's even better. I mean, Xanadu is just prog rock at its best. I can't, or at least for the decade it was in. It's one of the all-time greats. If you're just getting into progressive rock, I think this is a really good song that kind of encapsulates the genre. Coming in at number 6 is Losing It from Signals. This is a song that I feel is kind of more of a deep cut, a little bit underrated for Rush. It doesn't seem to get the love that I think it deserves, but it's without a doubt one of their best songs. The entire song just has this sad vibe to it. They brought in someone to play electric violin on it and it really pays off. And these are, again, some of Neil's best lyrics. They might be my personal favorite lyrics he ever did. The song just talks about how creative people eventually lose their talent and how a lot of times people are too afraid to be creative. And it's just a song that inspires me to take more chances in life. So yeah, it deserves to be number 6. If you haven't heard Losing It by Rush, go check it out. Okay, so now we're in the top 5, so we're getting to the real heavy hitters, and coming in at number 5 is Between the Wheels from Grace Under Pressure. If you've written off anything that Rush did after like 1983 because you've heard, oh, it's just synth pop and it's not as good, it's not as heavy, it's not... forget all that nonsense, because Between the Wheels is one of Rush's heaviest songs. The song just starts off with this nasty droning on, I think it's a D minor chord, dan, 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 before going into the main guitar riff. And if you like Alex Lifeson's playing on Jacob's Ladder, you're gonna love his playing on the intro of Between the Wheels. It is nasty, his vibrato is on point, he incorporates the whammy bar really well. It's just super, super tasty, aggressive, nasty guitar playing. And then, once again, you have a great melody by Geddy Lee and lyrics that are about kind of being in between two awful things. The beginning lyric is, to live in between the wars in our time. And I feel like the song is just basically Neil Peart kind of saying, it's very frustrating when you've learned from the past, but then the people around you haven't, and so you can see where things are going when they're getting bad, but you can't do anything about it. Kind of bleak lyrics, but those are pretty metal, right? Yeah, Between the Wheels is just another Rush song that I wish got more love. I don't think it gets the recognition it deserves, and I am super happy that it's this high up on the list. Coming in at number 4 is Cygnus X1 from A Farewell to Kings. If you like bands like Haken and Tool and Dream Theater and Thank You Scientist, and you haven't heard this song, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is Rush at their heaviest and their nastiest. Geddy Lee's vocals at parts of this song almost border on like some kind of proto-screamo. The bass for the intro is so thick and grooves so much. I mentioned Haken earlier, and if you want to listen to probably a section of music that inspired a lot of Haken songs, go listen to around the 5-minute and 35-second mark of Cygnus X1. The guitar kind of, it's only the guitar just playing a little droning note. And the theme that the bass and the drums are playing together in the intro comes in. And when the two of them combine, it is one of the heaviest riffs in existence. Number 3 is the second part to Cygnus X1, and that's Hemispheres. Also from the album Hemispheres. It's just one of the greatest rock epics of all time. It's a 19-minute long song, and I never am bored by a single second of it. Much like Xanadu, I'm kind of intimidated because I just don't know what to say about it because there's so much that could be said, but I feel like I'm not saying anything original. Great riffs, great story, so many different mood changes, feels, lyrics, everything about Hemispheres is perfect. And if you haven't heard it, which you probably have, but if you haven't, you should go check it out. It's an 19-minute long epic, and I love every second of it. Number 3, for sure. Alright, so coming in at number 2, from me, Villa Strangiato, also from Hemispheres. I was tempted to use maybe YYZ on the list, YYZ, but I just couldn't. If you're talking about an instrumental song, Villa Strangiato might be the greatest rock instrumental of all time. Alex Lifeson's Spanish guitar intro is incredible. His guitar solo in the song where the kind of bass and the drums drop to a 7 groove, and he just starts off slow, and by the end of his solo is absolutely shredding, is all great. Geddy Lee's bass playing and Neil Peart's drumming along to it for the latter half of the song is mind-blowing. Villa Strangiato is just perfect. YYZ isn't on this list, and there's a couple other instrumentals that could have been on this list, but I don't feel bad having this as my number 2 because it just is that good. Okay, and coming in at number 1 is 2112 from the album 2112. This was the album that and the song that made me realize that Rush was more than Tom Sawyer and YYZ and Limelight. This 20-minute, 30-second long epic is just everything that's great about Rush, and they really finally captured what they wanted their sound to be. From the synth intro to the heavy riffs to the incorporation of a canon, because at one point Alex Lifeson is quoting Tchaikovsky's 1812 symphony, and that has cannons in it, so they do that. Everything about the music in the song just slaps. It's perfect. And the extra layer of amazing that the song has is the story of what was going on with Rush behind the scenes at the time. They had done about 3 albums at this point, and they really weren't taking off the way that the record company wanted them to. So they were under a lot of pressure to go a more commercial route. And the 3 of them, Neil, Geddy, and Alex, got together and said to each other, we don't care if we fail, we're going to be true to ourselves, and we're going to have an album that starts off with a 20-minute long song. And luckily for us and for them, 2112 took off. And the whole song is about being true to your artistic vision and not letting the world crush your dreams. And they were living that at the time. So to take a chance like that, where you know that your dream of being a musician, all your hopes, it might be dashed, it might come to nothing, but you're still not going to let someone else tell you what to do, is something that's really admirable. And I mean, with a story like that, how could this song not be number 1? So yeah, that's my top 20 Rush songs at the time of writing this video. If you disagree, don't be quick to judge, don't be quick to anger, but do be quick to write a comment down below telling me what your favorite Rush songs are. You think there are any songs that I missed? Any of the songs that I have in my top 20 that you haven't heard, that you went and listened to, did you like them? And if you want to subscribe, hit the like button, all that jazz. You know how YouTube works. It would really help the channel grow, and hopefully we're able to make a nice community of music lovers here. Thanks for everything, and I hope that we will see you soon. Bye.